Hello, class of 2020, or soon to be class of 2020. My name is Margaret Yu, and I'm the National Director of Epic Movement. I wanted to take some time to just personally say hello and just share my heart. First of all, thank you for your involvement with Epic Movement, whether it's for one semester or for 3 or 5. We're just so grateful for your part in our community. You have blessed us by who you are, and you have also invested in your involvement. Some of you have been leaders with us. You've invested your talents and even invested your life in mentoring the next generation of Epic students. So thank you, thank you. The other thing I want to say is that I think it's an incredible thing when I think about your class. You are so special. When I think about your class and what you've done the last year, especially the last few months, you are an exceptional class, and I really mean it. So for example, your class has survived a pandemic, which we haven't had since 1908. And you, as a college student, have known what it means to shelter in place. Some of you had to move home. Some of you had to even deal with living in a small space with your parents after being away as a college students. And I think about that, and what you've been through has been amazing. And then even during this time, you've had to deal with anti-Asian xenophobia or racist attacks. And you've had friends who've been so afraid of whether wearing masks or not. And in the midst of it, your class has also been a very special one in that this is during a time in history when America wakes up to racism. Now, there's always been racism. And when we think about African Americans, they've had to deal with slavery since 1619, and it's been over 400 years. And so when you think about it, it's not new, but America, through social media and different things, are awakened to this reality. I think about that, and I think about you and how you've had to deal with what does that mean, and you have an awakening of yourself and even awakening of learning about injustice. And that's a very emotional thing. And then on top of that, you guys have had to do this online classes while you're shelter in place. And I'm sure some of you have become Zoom stars. Some of you are probably really famous now because you're so good at Zoom. You did it. You guys, you did it. I want to say congratulations to you. Congrats, 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 congrats. Woo, 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 congrats. Class of 2020, congratulations. You are an exceptional class. We in Epic, we love you on behalf of our staff, and I know they've told you already, and our students and our friends and our donors. We love you, class of 2020. And so I want to raise a toast to you first. And this is, it's actually just lemonade, so don't worry. This is just a toast from us to you and from me to you, to say you did it. You graduated in midst of so much turmoil in the world, and you did it. And so I just want to say congratulations. We're so proud of you. So class of 2020, Epic class, we love you and we're grateful for you. So here's a toast to you. Clink, clink, clink. So as you go out in the world, some of you graduating this week, others have already graduated in May. As you go out into this world, I just want to say a few things that I think I'm very excited about the future for you. I know some of you are thinking about the future and what does it mean? How am I going to get a job? What does it mean to still have this pandemic with us? And what about the race issues? And you have a lot of questions and concerns like all of us. But I want to assure you that as you go, that God is going to be with you. And as you go, I want to encourage you to continue to have that spiritual community that you need wherever you go. My prayer for you is one like that I've said about David, that in Acts 13:36, it says that now when David had served God's purposes in his own generation, he fell asleep. And what that means is that now when King David, served God's purposes in his generation, then he died. I'm praying for you that whenever you die, I don't know when that will be, that you would have been like King David, that not that you were perfect, King David was not perfect, but that like King David, that you would have served God's purposes in your own generation. You know, I'm old, but you will continue to serve God's purposes in your own generation. Some of you are actually going to go into fields where you as a Christian can look at how are we going to find a vaccine for this crazy virus. Some of you will be in the medical profession and pursuing that. And what I love about the future is that you as a Christian believer can do it, even thinking about health equity, and that you can make sure that the treatments that people get are the same for all people groups, and that you can stand for justice even in your field. I think of some of you going into business, that you would be thinking of business to enrich communities, maybe communities that are underserved or underprivileged, that you can use your degree, you can use your talents for that. I think of some of you being missionaries. Some of you will be called to join EPIC or CREW or other missionary agencies. Whatever agency you're going to be a part of, that you will bring yourself and that you would serve God's purpose in your generation as a missionary. Some of you are going to be called to be an engineer, to design things that would architecturally be helpful and build structures that would be helpful, that would serve all people. So when I think about you and the last few months, how the Lord is preparing us in really looking at our lives and really examining our lives and making sure that what's most important is most important. During a pandemic or crisis, what's really clear is that your values become sharpening, and you realize, what am I standing up for? And what are the things that are important to me? And so I'm excited for what you guys will do as you go into this world. I know the unknown is there. We don't know exactly how this virus will pan out, but we can be sure that we can be a part of making this world a better place because of God. I pray that you, at the end of your lifetime, when you fall asleep permanently, whenever that will be, that you would be like King David and that you would have served God's purpose in your own generation. I want to read this passage to you too, 2 Timothy 4, 7 and 8. This is from Paul. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I've kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing. I pray that you would finish the race and fight the good fight, and that you would continue, and that you would continue to make disciples of all the nations, and that you would continue to stand and follow the God of love and the God of justice, and that you would continue the epic way, being equipped and mobilized to take your place in God's redemptive mission. And so as I think about you going into this world, I feel better. You are the hope that we have. It's not in structures or systems, but really the hope is that we as believers can make a difference. And so you are the hope because Christ lives you. He is our hope. Class of 2020, this is Strawberry Lemonade. Congratulations and God bless you. And may the Lord continue to have you serve his purposes in this generation, in your generation. We love you and we're so proud of you. Cheers.